was beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
I missed that. Hey everyone. Welcome back to Film Talk, a podcast where two gals talk film, television, and everything in between the reels. I'm your host, Ileana Melendez, and I'm joined here today by my ever so lovely co-host, Miss Josie Melendez. And I don't know if y'all have noticed, we have a new theme song.
Yes, we do.
Thank you, Christian Bob. He actually did our theme song for our Stranger Things series, Ra Ra La Cosa, and he did such a phenomenal job that we also collaborated on this theme song, and this is honestly a long time coming. It will be getting a video montage edit accompanying it. That is coming soon, but I'm just so excited to finally debut this new theme music for Film Talk. It's just, we said classic cinephile Portrait of Lady on Fire girlies, but make it Boricua.
Yeah.
And that's what he delivered. He followed the assignment, so gracias, Christian Bob.
Clásico con sazón.
Clásico con sazón. That's what we asked for, and he delivered.
But real quick, you can also follow Christian Bob at Christian Bob with a K, so KRISTIANBOB with a 1. Christian Bob 1.
Because he was number one.
Number one.
He will also, all of his work and his socials will be linked in the description below, and it will honestly be done so for as long as we have this intro music, because he does phenomenal work. He's an awesome stand-up guy, so definitely go check him out if you haven't already. If you haven't noticed already, my observant little listeners, we are not doing video today because we decided to serve Mother in an audio form, because video editing and the production that goes into our regular episodes is done internally, which is a very professional way of saying DIY. And it takes a lot of time. And I don't like half-assing things when I video edit. So we're just kind of taking a new approach a little bit with the podcast to try and get more episodes out, a little more content consistently. Thank you, Josie Melendez, for giving us this twist. Like, it's so groundbreaking. We're just kind of like reverse psychologying podcast listeners, because now I feel like every podcast that is somewhat popular is a video podcast. Like, they always start audio and they go to video, and we're always a video podcast from the beginning, which is kind of crazy. So look at us, reverse evolution.
And now we're doing both, even though we were already doing both, but now we have a little exclusive. Yeah. So we're just going to be doing a little more consistent content, audio only, a little more long form, and then our shorter form videos, reviews, like our little Ted Lasso chats we try to keep them nice and tight at 30 minutes. Those would definitely still be video, but just trying to stay realistic with the workload, because we are working women. And working women in today's society, girl boss too close to the sun a lot of the time, which is an issue. Yep.
But we're doing the best that we can, and we hope that you're doing the best that you can out there listening tonight, or whenever you're listening to this. It's nighttime. This is a late night little cinephile chat we got going here. Anyways, to the point. We're going to talk about what we've seen in the past month or so, kind of do like a monthly roundup. I'm kicking around the title of this series, Filmmeboxd, because it's just us kind of scrolling through our Letterboxd logs and talking a bit about what we've seen over the past few weeks, what we've vlogged, and what we thought about that film in particular, and moving the fuck on. Because it's, you know what? It's hard out here, guys and gals and pals. It really is. Being a film critic is just so hard. It is such a privilege, but goddamn, having an opinion that is worth a damn is hard work. I might cut this out.
I mean, it's true.
It is true. It's the production of it all. Truly, it is a lot of hard work. So we want to do our best, very best at it, and just kind of have a return to form. Think of it as the menu, but our podcast.
Oh my gosh.
The bread plate. Before you know it, we're not even gonna publish like a full podcast. It's just gonna be like my audio first, and then yours the next week, and then people have to put it together to consume a whole episode.
Goddamn.
So, Josie, would you like to take us down what you have been watching, or what start off? Just start off with what you've seen recently. Just go for it.
So we're going to be doing a roundup of the last week of March and the entirety of April, because we're in May. We're in May now.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like this whole time thing.
Okay, so for the end of March, I actually watched 65, which I guess nobody saw because it left theaters quickly. But that is the Adam Driver Dino movie. It is not a fantastic movie, but I had fun with it. It's very, I'll say, it did a really good job with the dinosaurs, not so much with the father figure dynamic that they wanted to go with the two of them, kind of like Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. But the dinosaurs were really great.
Okay, serve. I didn't catch that one, actually. I feel like that came out around the same time as Dungeons and Dragons, which we both did see. And it was a hoot. Let me tell you. I
Dungeons
really
and Dragons was fun.
loved Dungeons and Dragons. It's not perfect, but no D&D campaign ever is. And it felt very much like a loyal adaptation to the mechanics and the culture around a Dungeons and Dragons session. So kudos to them, and kudos to the directors who clearly have played the game before and have a passion for it. As a player myself, and as a passionate D&D fan, really, really difficult to try to adapt that with no like set story. Because it's not like Critical Role with The Legend of Vox Machina. All you have to, as if that's so easy. You already have a story. All you have to do is adapt the story. Like, you can get AI to do that, honestly. But disgusting. Yeah, we were talking about AI earlier, but it's scary times, y'all. But I really, really had fun with it. I gave that a crisp 4 stars in my Letterboxd.
I gave it 4 stars too. Also, thank you for the asexual representation with Doric, played by Sophia Lillis.
Hell yeah. I loved her. She
was great.
She served as soon, and you know what's so funny is that no one was like explicitly queer, but we knew. It was so queer coded. Yeah. Especially with Doric. So I really appreciate that. And I love our himbo representation with Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez. I think they were phenomenal. I think it was just even Jordan Fisher. Like, it was just a great cast, honestly.
It's not Jordan Fisher. It's Justice Smith.
I'm a dumbass.
They have the same vibe. I get it.
Don't they? Okay, thank you. Justice Smith. I'm so sorry.
I've only met one of them.
Wait, which one did you meet?
Jordan Fisher.
See, that's why I got confused, because he's... See, here's the thing.
Such a handsome kind
They're
lad.
both so handsome, and they both have names that start with J. Let's start there. And that's where my little boomer brain goes.
It's happened to me before, and like I can recognize their faces, but for some reason my brain will just mix their names. And it's like, no, like, y'all are great. I wanted to watch this film actually because of Justice Smith, because I love what he does, and I think he's good in the films he's been in. Some people might disagree, but I think I am right.
I enjoy him. And you know what? I don't care what y'all say. Justice Smith and Jordan Fisher kind of look alike a little bit. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? Let's just say that. Okay? I get them confused often.
Are you Googling?
I absolutely just fucking did. I absolutely Googled Justice Smith and Jordan Fisher. And yes, it's a conspiracy. It's kind of like the similarity between like Natalie Portman and Keira Knightley. Like, they're both different people. They have different faces, but at the same time, do they?
Yeah.
It's kind of that.
No, like, it's the same vibe.
It is very much the same vibe. So apologies, Justice Smith, you still serve cunt.
Except, sorry, the amount of times that whenever, like, I go about my day and I suddenly go, I look quite pretty. And it's just Keira Knightley. I love actually the way that lives rent-free 24/7 in my brain. The amount of times I have to say it out loud because if not, it just gets stuck in my brain.
It'd be like that. My I guess mental crutch at the moment, my mental quote crutch at the moment, and I told you this I think yesterday, is Pedro Pascal in the SNL skit going, "My son don't have ADD. He just like to jump." Like I
Y
had
después tú me lo pegaste.
yeah, because it's just
Last
so good.
night I walked into my bathroom and just randomly I'm just about to brush my teeth and I just start putting toothpaste on my toothbrush and I'm like, my son don't have ADD. He just likes to jump.
It's just
And
so
then I
good.
just started brushing my pearly whites.
Your teeth look great, by the way. What are you using?
Thank
Actually
you.
do look very white.
I guess I'm
You
mentally
guys don't get to
myself.
see us, but we get to see each
No.
other.
I guess I'm mentally preparing myself because I'm getting aligners. This is a life update moment. I'm
Fun.
getting not Invisaligners, it's another brand, but it's same gist, same potato.
Yeah.
It's happening. I've been avoiding orthodontists left and right since
You have been
I
dodging
was a
them.
child.
You have been dodging
Yeah.
them for a hot minute. And it's not that you've particularly needed them for cosmetic reasons, truly. It's
Nah.
just, you know,
It's just
jaw
just
pain
the-
and alignment.
Yeah. No, hot girls have IBS and TMJ.
There you go. That's it. I forgot the
But-
term.
Yeah, but no, just humility moment. I didn't have health insurance growing up, so orthodontry just would have cost too much.
This is ridiculous,
And now
even
I'm
for people
making-
with health insurance. I can imagine.
Literally, no, I had to pay them with my own. Like, that's the thing. I'm making big girl money, so I had to put
She's
my
a
big
career
pants on.
woman.
I had to put my big girl pants on and take my wallet out and then cry as soon as they swipe the credit card.
But let me tell you, this has turned into just. Do you guys want a lifestyle podcast like segment on Film Talk?
We can do little segments.
Do you
I think that's
guys
a good idea.
care about our lives, our personal lives outside of
We
film
don't
criticism?
care if you do or not. We're gonna give it to you either way, because life happens in between these movies.
And then people make movies about life happening in between the movies.
It's a cycle.
It really is. Really,
But
really
yeah.
is. Dungeons and Dragons served.
You were gonna say something though.
I was, and then I confused the actors, and then I got embarrassed.
No, but you were gonna say something right now before you.
Oh,
said
right.
this.
I was gonna make a
Know more about
point.
it.
I was gonna make
Yeah.
a point, actually.
I want to know.
Though Dungeons and Dragons did not have like very loud, explicit queer representation, very much
Mhm.
queer coded, especially now coming out with like the accompanying novel on the character Dork, who's the druid, the tiefling druid.
Woo.
Like, hello, we knew. The queer gals and pals knew that Dork was of the community, and absolutely Helga. Olga? Helga.
Olga.
Olga. Olga.
Olga.
Olga.
Elga.
It's been a month.
Wait.
I'm terrible with character
Olga.
names.
Olga.
Olga. Thank you.
Olga.
Helga is from Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold.
Yeah. But I think that like she is my barbarian by queen.
Mhm.
I believe that.
Oh, totally. And even though, like, her relationship with Chris Pine's character, which... Edgin. Her relationship with Edgin just gave me, like, queer uncles
Mhm.
energy.
100%. It's like that meme where it's like, how could
Frog and Toad. It gave Frog and Toad energy.
Oh my god, I wasn't gonna say that, but that's so fucking true and related to what I'm gonna say, which is, look, how can a hetero couple be queer and then explain them? Like, that's them. How can like how can these like allegedly hetero people
That feels
not
like
be queer?
That feels like the meme of, could a depressed person
Make
do
this? Honestly, John Francis Daly,
Could a
how you
hetero
doing?
couple give that vibe?
It's honestly like they're Ken. He's Barbie, she's Ken.
Mm-hmm.
That was them, and I loved them for it. And honestly,
No,
let's talk
but
the cinematography. Those shots.
I loved it.
I love how
was,
dynamic
again,
it was.
Obviously, it wasn't going to give the entire vibe of Lord of the Rings because it wasn't as practical as Lord of the Rings. I mean, if you see the behind the scenes, like, those sets are wild. But even then, it felt tangible. It felt real, which is so important for a fantasy game of this scale, and then putting it on the screen. I think they did a good job with that. But I just wanted to also point out that I love how my Letterboxd reaction is, the movies are back, baby!
Yeah, because I feel like it was, and I feel a lot of people said this, it was kind of a return to form to like the classic action blockbuster.
I mean, it was John Wick, then it was this
back
one.
to back banger. March was honestly a month full of bangers back to back, especially for the action blockbuster, and none of them were superhero movies. So isn't that interesting? I digress. And perhaps quickly moving on from Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, if it's still in a theater near you, honestly go catch it. I really enjoyed my theater experience.
Yeah, I do have a little parentheses.
Oh, go for it.
I do have a little bit of a parentheses. The Eight Mountains, just on the theme of queerness, or Le Otto Montagne. It's an Italian film. It played at Cannes, if I'm not mistaken, and I might be wrong, or I might be right. I'll Google.
Aren't we all?
While I speak. we're just raw dogging this.
We really are. This is just very unfiltered.
Yeah, we're just vibing right now.
I'm having fun. Are you having fun? Are y'all having fun?
It was at Sundance and it was a jury prize winner at Cannes, so I was right.
Last year?
Haha. Yeah.
Lovely.
It's premiering now, which is why I wanted to mention it, because I got to see it at the Criterion Building. Humble flex. And
she still hasn't snuck into the closet.
No, each time I go, I'm like, I tell Ileana, I'm like, today I'm gonna be assertive. I'm gonna ask them if I can see the closet. And then I never do, because I don't want to bother anybody. But it's right there. Maybe someday.
I'm gonna like force myself to be your +1 on one of those screenings. I'm just gonna be like, we're breaking into the closet.
But the Eight Mountains, it's not queer, but I wanted it to be.
Oh.
And my reaction was literally, come on, you can't tell me it wasn't a little fruity.
That you could say that about most Italian movies though.
Yes, but this one literally,
remember Piccolo Corpo? You're not seeing Josie.
Where is that? Where is that movie? I don't know. That
was at TIFF 2021, right?
Yeah, I'm about to fight with someone. Ooh, I think
about that movie every. Ooh, she's heated.
Okay, Mario Alegre, little name drop, our sweet friend, fellow critic of Puerto Rico. I remember he mentioned it because I was talking about it a lot on Twitter, and he told me, you were right, this movie is really good. And then like a while passed, and he was like, I'm so haunted by this film. And I'm like, we are all haunted by this film. The way the baby breathed at the end.
If you got like, honestly, I'm gonna try to find it to see where a normal person could go see it, maybe on streaming or something, and link it down below for you guys, because it's been almost 2 years since we saw that movie, and we only saw it once. We saw it at TIFF, at home. We saw it.
I was sobbing.
That was such a haunting film, and I still think about it. That, and you know what's so
that one and Munari, one after the other, and I was like, this is why I watch movies.
Honestly, that double feature from TIFF 2021 really still sits with me, and I would actually like to own the physical media to those films, because they were very good.
For people, Munari is available on physical media. I don't know about Piccolo Corpo.
Oh, is it with the vinegar people?
The
Vinegar people?
Vinegar Syndrome.
Vinegar Syndrome. They make the DVDs.
No, if you hear clickety clacketing, it's me angrily finding out what happened to Piccolo Corpo.
But either way,
just to close it, the whole point of this is that Eight Mountains is coming out now. By the time you're listening to this, it's going to be in theaters. It has beautiful shots, and it's basically about the relationships that we have, or that at least men have with their fathers and with each other as men. But it's so sensitive in its storytelling. It's so human. It won a can for a reason, and
Mhm.
it should not go unnoticed. But I do wish it was fruity, because you could see it. You could
They
see
were
it. I
trying.
didn't. I did not appreciate being lied to. I know what was going on behind closed doors. Liars. There was
Speaking of
nothing hetero about
fruity,
that.
and Pedro Almodovar is walking the fruity side in this year's Cannes.
I love how they were like, "No, we're not premiering at Cannes," and then they're like, "Haha, we are."
Psychete. Remember when Pedro Almodovar said Buenas noches at the opening night when we went? That was so fun.
Good.
What a good memory.
We felt seen.
We really
but-
did. Nobody else spoke Spanish.
I know. Except for that very attractive Ujier.
Oh my god, I hope that Spaniard. Listen, guys, there was a Spanish usher at Cannes when we went, and this was almost 2 years ago, and I hope he's having a good night.
I hope he has a toasted bread with butter right now with his dinner.
With a little ajito, a little garlic on his bread.
But like the really nice crunchy ASMR bread.
Oh yeah, the sourdough. Give me that ciabatta.
John Wick Chapter 4, talking about like nice crunchy toasty bread.
That's literally what John Wick 4 is. It is that
John Wick
perfect
4
garlic
is-
bread.
I was about to say, it is whipped butter garlic bread.
Woo! Look at her. Look at her being a food talker.
I saw a TikTok and I want to recreate it because that thing looked bussin'.
And speaking of bussin', John Wick.
John Wick Chapter 4.
Oh my
Man,
God.
everything was an event. Every single scene. They made sure that everything felt like its own little short with a beginning and end, some turmoil, some really nice laughs mixed in there. I thought it was delightful. I gave it 5 stars.
Me too. And you know what I just realized? I feel like John Wick's, like, of the franchise, it's the French Dispatch of the franchise. Because it's not for everybody. There are some people, and I respect that opinion, as like,
oh wow,
there are some
haven't
people that
seen
did
it.
not like it. I have
My
met.
timeline was
This was in person.
enrolled.
I have colleagues. We have colleagues in person that did not like it. They left the theater.
Ah, bueno.
They left the theater
Everyone's
before the Paris.
Everyone's entitled to the wrong opinion.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not for everybody. This person also liked Chapter 3, so like, it's a very interesting divide between with this franchise of people who like John Wick Chapter 4 and people who didn't. The Venn diagrams usually represents that the person who didn't like the last movie probably liked the third movie, which contributes nothing to John Wick, in my opinion. But what we can all agree on is that we all like John Wick, which is kind of crazy. I think John Wick unites us in some way, shape, or form.
I love Chapter 4 because I'm not a Chapter 3 truther, as some of you may know, tuning in. And I like Chapter 4. I thought it was a really good reminder of what we love about it, but it also dared to explore a little bit more, be more experimental. And I love my freaky little French dude.
Man, he is unsettling as fuck. She's vibing. Y'all can't see her, but she's vibing hard as fuck thinking about Bill Skarsgård playing French with his tiny little café au lait, with his tiny little spoon, in Paris.
Psychotic.
He was really psychotic, but
I love this arc.
It was a good arc. Arc de Triomphe, actually. But I thought it was a good arc. I thought he was a good villain, and I feel like he complemented the conclusion to John Wick's journey very well. And I think they played off each other pretty well. And not only that, come through fucking what's his name? Not Wilson. That's the volleyball in in Castaway. Oh my god, the hotel manager. What's his name? Winston, thank you. That was close.
Let me double check while you speak.
I think it's Winston. Yeah, Winston as a character served, step the fuck up. Really loved that. And just
set, like you said, every set piece in this 3-hour spectacle has its own beginning and end, and it just feels like a really just glorious action vignette, which is why I think this is the French Dispatch of the franchise, because not everyone loved the French Dispatch, but it was
No.
chaotic, but it was glorious in its chaos, and I feel like John Wick 4 really captured that. So I loved it so much. I am absolutely going to be purchasing it on physical media, which to me, that's like my stamp of approval. If I'm buying it on a physical media, I think the movie is worth watching. That's how I feel.
Absolutely.
So that really just sums it up.
Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Oh my god, I didn't log it. I'm so silly. But yeah, 4 stars, because it's a silly little movie.
I can't remember where I put this. I don't know if it was on my burner. I don't know. I talk a lot of shit sometimes in different places, and I can't remember where.
She has different. You have so many channels of communication that you need. Like, you need a publicist for your thoughts.
Yeah.
You need a PR guy.
I will share it here. I can't believe the most divisive film of 2023 so far has been this one.
Isn't that crazy?
I know. It wasn't on my bingo
a
card.
Nintendo platformer adaptation. Like,
And
come on, bro.
I've already spoken about this enough in different outlets, or like I've communicated my frustration. So summary is
too long, didn't read.
I just don't know why people were expecting The Godfather or Lawrence of Arabia. It's a video game about an Italian plumber that goes in and out of pipes.
He really does. He honestly
just
goes through pipes to save a princess. Like,
it's so simple.
What more do you want?
Yes, I do agree it could have been more challenging in its narrative and its storytelling, and we could have seen more challenges emotionally for the characters, but I also don't think whatever they could have done, I don't think it would have been genuine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like it was hard. Like, whenever I tried to find a solution, I think that what they did was the best thing they could have done.
Yeah, because I feel like then it would have felt like trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't
kind of dishonest,
and I don't think the tone of it would have matched. What I do think would have helped the movie, less copyright music.
Oh, totally.
That really cheapened it. So, you know what? They didn't need it because you had such a phenomenal score. Beautiful score that is a loyal adaptation to the original music for the video games, and for not only the original platformer, every iteration of Super Mario Brothers as a video game franchise for the past 40 years almost. And it's just so well thought out, and it's such a gorgeous, like, orchestral adaptation of that music that I feel like they could have just stuck to that and stuck to the music that makes you feel like a kid again playing
the
Super
amount
Mario.
of times I gasped whenever I could pick up a tune. I thought it was smart in its delivery of Easter eggs and just the theme music and just all of that. But definitely I think the biggest flaw of this film was the music supervision, because it definitely felt like whiplash whenever a song came on, because it would be like sometimes within minutes of each other.
Yeah, and then it was so loud too. Like, all of a sudden you have, like, you're completely immersed in Super Mario World basically, and all of a sudden you have I need a hero. Like, I don't need that. It's kind of and this is a pretty good segue. I still give Super Mario Bros. 4 stars because I went in with, reasonable expectations in my opinion, and I think that it delivered what I wanted, which was nostalgia, pretty animation, and yeah, just entertainment, a good time. So I really liked it.
I couldn't find Marcel. I got worried, but he's right there hiding behind Benito's heart.
Oh, yeah. Oh, in my background. Yeah, Marcel's
there.
Right
He
there.
is.
No, I have Marcel's friends with the heart from Un Verano Sin Ti.
Yeah, if you guys have
They're
seen
buddies.
the previous videos, you know where he is. I couldn't see him because he was hiding from
He's very
You.
tiny, but he's there. Yeah, he's
I
vibing.
got worried.
Thank you for worrying about my son.
Beau is Afraid.
I haven't seen
You
that
haven't
one
seen it.
because it hasn't come to Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
remember
coming here. I'm
someone
so
from
mad.
someone from the Puerto Rico Critics Association, PRCA, hashtag. I can't remember who it was. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry. Please shout it out. Someone tweeted, Beau is Afraid of Puerto Rico, in parentheses, because it won't be coming there.
Whoever it was, we love you. That's fucking funny.
It made me giggle. I think it was Hill.
I believe it. He's
Yeah.
funny. He has some funny. He has.
And if not,
you know
take
what?
the credit.
He has more tweets that should be hit tweets. Yeah, he has some funny moments. I appreciate him. But yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
Beau is Afraid should be coming to PR because it's like the one Ari Aster film I've actually wanted to see, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And now I won't be able to see it. So I'm gonna have to see if like some dusty old theater in June and when I'm in New York is still playing it by then. Or maybe it's already on like fucking Amazon Prime. God knows. Only God will know. Time will
It's still
tell.
in theaters.
It's still in theaters. Okay, I'll try to
Mhm.
catch it because I feel like it's one of those movies that even if you don't like the filmmaker, you should probably see like once in your life.
Yeah, it's definitely a film that I think is gonna be discussed in some freaky little horror cinema class. But I think it's a brave attempt. I think it's a very good contribution to the genre. You would think that I love it from how I talk about it because I do think there's a lot of things that you can appreciate from it, and a lot of things that I think Ari Aster was trying to do that he was able to do. Because I don't think he did it perfectly. Because clearly there's a lot of dissonant notes when it comes to the criticism. But brave attempt. That's all I'll say.
I think just with the subject matter, I think
Yeah.
it's something you have to be brave at for even trying to make a movie
'Cause it
to express
literally-
that feeling.
It does feel because it takes a lot of inspiration from Kafka, Borges, the Odyssey, Greek literature, the classics, and you can see it. And I think that it's rich in that way. I think it's when it comes to this film, there is so much to appreciate from a cinema studies, film studies kind of perspective if you were to get into that and actually analyze it. But watching it, it's so exhausting. It's so draining. A lot of it had a lot of my triggers that when I was watching, I definitely felt uncomfortable. So it's just you sitting there for 3 hours,
It's
just frazzled.
I think the runtime alone for something
It's
of that
too
scale is too
long.
much.
No, it's too long because there are so many things that you could have taken out, but of course they're there for the full effect of anxiety, etc., etc. And so in that case, you might say that he did a good job, but I don't believe it.
Fair. You know what? I'm very interested. I'm not gonna say I'm excited to see it, but I am very, very interested to see it because I feel
Yeah.
like it will spark a very interesting discussion between people who like the film and don't like the film, or just actually like you. Like I feel like more people should. You can appreciate something you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Quite honestly, like there are some films I can't think of one right now, but like there's some films that I'm not a huge fan of, but I can appreciate what they tried to do and what they accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I can say that Avatar: The Way of Water, I don't like that movie, but I'm not gonna say it's a bad movie by any means. I definitely appreciate the
Mhm.
scale of it and the craft behind it. I just don't like it personally.
Yeah.
So I think Beau is Afraid is definitely like shaping up to be one of those films, and I
Mhm.
think I just want to see it. And if you guys have
Yeah.
it, available in a theater near you, support more indie cinema. And I
Yeah.
say indie loosely, very
No.
loosely.
Totally. I know that what I've been telling people is that if you're interested in watching the movie, do go see it. But if you have no interest and think you just should watch it because it's either in theaters or because someone keeps recommending it to you, if you're not interested, don't put yourself through it. But if you are curious, it's definitely worth the watch.
100%. So that's Beau is Afraid. What a transition between Super Mario Bros. And Beau is Afraid.
I know, because literally after this, I have Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement, Princess Protection Program.
Oh, are those like other logs, like rewatches?
Yeah, I'm like Emma, Hercules.
Love that.
I watched
for you.
Yerba Buena, which for the first time.
How was that?
I get what you mean. It feels like a commercial.
It was
for Clínica
funded.
Verde.
I mean, it was funded by Clínica Verde, so
Yeah, but
that makes
either
sense.
way, I enjoyed it.
If y'all
It was
don't
a
know,
nice
this
little
is a local Puerto Rican film.
Yeah, it was a nice slice of life little thing, but it feels like it could have been a short instead of a full feature.
It's
'Cause
definitely
the conflict didn't feel real. It was solved
Right.
pretty quickly. But
didn't feel
I
like Picando
survived.
Alante.
Picando Alante, masterpiece.
I still think about Picando Alante, and I wish that's again one of those that I wish I had on physical media.
I was thinking about it while watching Yerba Buena, and I was like, it's missing the urgency of Picando Alante. But after that, I watched Sanctuary.
Oh yeah, you were able to see that early.
I love it.
I saw the trailer for it, and I'm like, okay,
I love it.
my eyes are on it.
All I'm gonna say is Phoebe Waller-Bridge once said this is a love story.
Is she involved in the project?
No.
Ah,
But I was watching it, and the entire time I was just thinking, this is a love story.
interesting.
It's a messed up love story, but it's a love story nonetheless.
This tends to be the best ones. When does that one come out? Like in May, right?
Yeah. Vamos a ver. What else did you watch while I look up?
I didn't watch Beau's Afraid because it's not fucking here. But what did arrive was Renfield, which Josie did not catch. And
No.
I was quite excited to see, and I was very disappointed, which is very disheartening because I went in with such like positive expectations and felt like I saw a 3-hour film that only ran for like an hour and a half. Like I was
How
being
long
tortured.
is it?
It's like an hour and a half film. It's a 90-minute flick. It's not long. But it felt long, which is not great. It's not great. I didn't appreciate the Old Navy commercial montage in the middle of it. With Lizzo's like one of Lizzo's singles from last year playing at the Wing. I didn't like that.
Am I catching this film after this? Also,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Sanctuary comes out. I already forgot I had it. Like May 16th or May 19th. I think May 19th.
So it comes out mid-May. Okay, cool. I might be able to catch it then in New York.
Renfield has a 10 p.m. screening. I'm not gonna make it. Anyways.
No, you're gonna fall asleep. It's not good. It needs more Nicolas Cage. Like, yes, the movie's called Renfield, not Dracula. Bad idea. Make it about Dracula. Nicolas Cage's Dracula. I thought that campiness should have been exploited. I did not care for Awkwafina being a cop side character / love interest for Renfield.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, didn't care for that shit at all. The whole like typical corrupt police but one good police person in the whole force. It's dated. It doesn't work. People don't like the police. Let's stop it. Okay? Let's just stop it right there. And a lot of people don't like Awkwafina. I understand that. She wasn't that good here either. Kind of a waste of Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Holt's talents, quite honestly. I think they deserved better, and I think the story, the idea deserved better. And it also deserved better in terms of practical effects, because there was far too much CGI blood, and it looked very bad, and that's not really something you want when you're going in for
a very, campy blood fest, vampire blood fest. Like, it's definitely not that. It's no Van Helsing in my eyes. Nothing could even
Mm,
go close to Van Helsing,
a
which I think
classic.
it is a camp classic, and that I think we should revisit this year. Honestly,
It really should.
I think it turns 20 years old next year in 2024.
I feel old.
Isn't that crazy? That movie raised me. Van Helsing and
Same.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. What a double feature. Back to back to back. Phenomenal films. But like those, and I bring them up because they are, to me, they're like actual good representations / examples of what is a campy adaptation of a classic monster story such as Dracula.
I just want an AU kind of fan fiction look at Mina Harker
100%. I
saying
think
yes
that's
to Dracula.
I think that would be so much more interesting than whatever the fuck Renfield was. Because again, it was not good. It was not funny. I saw it on my anniversary, and my boyfriend usually likes bad movies. And even he was like, he felt cheated. It's just
Como que
mm-mm.
tamalito.
Está malita. No, I was
Tú sabes
saying
que
that.
está malita si él dice que está malita.
Yeah, and I was saying that está malita and this is a good segue into my my thoughts on Chevalier. I went to the Chevalier screening like 2 days later, and I was telling some fellow critics, some colleagues, what I thought about it, and I was like, I was very disappointed, and I was very excited for it, but I was very disappointed. And one of the ushers for the screening, like 5 rows further down the theater, was like, "Really? De verdad?" Man, I didn't catch their name, but whoever you are an absolute hoot, and I hope you're having a great night. And they actually, after the screening, went up to me and asked me, "So what was wrong with Renfield?" Like, they were so like invested
Because
in
a lot
knowing
of people
if
like
it was bad.
like you said, you didn't like it, and I was still like, I'm gonna go see it because I genuinely do want to see it, even though like I know some people are gonna be like, you want to see it and yet you haven't seen it, even though it's about to leave theaters, and I'm like, I'm busy, but I still want to see it, and it's gonna be on digital soon. So
100%. It's probably going straight to Paramount.
Yeah, it's gonna be on digital soon. I don't know if it's this week or next week, but it's gonna like ya mismo. But yeah, I'm curious, so I can see why they were like, ah.
I'm not gonna say don't watch it. I'm just gonna say don't go in with as high expectations as I did.
I no.
Like, I knew it wasn't gonna be
kooky.
perfect, but I was there for a kooky campy time, and I didn't really get that.
No, I've been like, my expectations are pretty okay.
You're like mid.
Yeah,
You can't be disappointed if you expect everything to be mid.
Exactly.
But the state of film criticism nowadays, huh?
I know. I do want to see Chevalier. I've been anticipating it for a while now. I think it was at TIFF and we didn't get to see it. I wanted to see it at TIFF.
Because it premiered, I think, the same night as Glass Onion, and we were at Glass Onion instead.
I wanted to see it, so I've been anticipating it for a while, and that's also, I have a list, I have a sticky note with films that I need to catch, and one of those is that one.
I recommend it.
So I wanted to see it at TIFF, and so I've been anticipating it since then, so I'm glad you liked it. I'm going to try to catch it also because Mr. Alex Fitzallen is in it.
Your boy. I saw him and I was like, is this Josie's little Australian boy?
Yeah.
From the wilds? He was very cute. He was very, very charming. He was good in it. I just want to
stare at him because it's like an Australian version of Joseph Quinn.
He was your Joseph Quinn before Joseph Quinn, wasn't he?
Sí, pero Joseph Quinn has more charisma. Sorry, Alex.
No, 100%. But Alex is still cute. We'll respect. But like, speaking of Chevalier, who really stole the show for me was Kelvin Harrison Jr.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people are hoping he gets
Phenomenal.
some awards buzz, which awards don't mean anything. Award season is toxic. Awards punditry is toxic. But a shiny award doesn't hurt, and I hope he gets his flowers because every single person praises their performance.
I think Calvin Harrison Jr. was the best part of the movie and was what really made the movie, aside from Williams's direction and the score. Like, you obviously cannot have a film about a composer in the era of Mozart without a
And
good
not have a
score.
bomb score.
Yeah, like, you can't have a score that doesn't slap. I'm sorry. And you know what? It does slap. I think the only things holding Chevalier back for me from being like a 4.5 to 5 star is just the, I don't know. I feel like it does perhaps simplify things a little bit in terms of the history and the narrative, to make it, I guess, more palatable for a modern audience. I could be wrong. I'm not exactly an expert on this story, in this piece of history, but I don't know. It felt like some things were a little bit simple or like simplified, and I feel like it should have trusted the audience just a little bit more, with how complicated the situation was. But then again, it was still, I don't know, man. It still served. It had a good romance.
It has a good trailer.
It has a very good trailer. It has a I don't think wait, I'm saying it has a good trailer. I don't think I've seen the trailer. I actually went in pretty blind, and the beginning of the movie, like the opening scene, bomb. So good. I really liked it. I was very, very pleasantly surprised with how, precise and ambitious it was. It's very dynamic. The director definitely has more of a keen eye, obviously, for I don't know, I guess the way that it was filmed, and at least how I perceived it, was trying to kind of visually represent musical notes. It sounds weird, but that's how I felt. Like, a lot of the swinging shots and the way that they kind of ebbed and flowed, I feel like kind of went with the music when it was playing, so that was really cool. I feel like we could have gone with less montages. There was like a couple montages that felt a little corny. There are definitely corny moments to it, that I think keep it from being super great. But it's still a good movie. I think it's very, very good. I believe I gave it a solid. Did I give it 4 stars? I gave it a 3.5. I gave it a 3.5 stars. It has some corny moments. I feel like it also should have leaned a little more into the like the seriousness of the French Revolution of that era, because this was all very much, very clearly stating this is all the tension and all the events leading up to the official full French Revolution. And I feel like they should have leaned towards that just a little bit more, but that's just how I feel about it. I feel like it was a little too digested for a more sensitive audience, we'll say. But still a good flick. I think it was good. That's Chevalier. It's playing now. It just came out like 2 weeks ago in theaters, so go check it out.
It's still playing here. I guess a rapid fire round for me. Polite Society. It's coming out. It came out this week. It's playing in the US and in Puerto Rico, so if you haven't seen it, it's on Fine Arts Popular. I wrote a review for Todas PR. Catch that, please.
I gotta catch the movie. I'm excited.
Yeah. It's good. It's a beautiful blend of genres, just topped with a must-see dynamic. It's just a beautiful story about sisterhood, but it's also a social horror story. It reminded me, que lo incluí en mi reseña, it reminded me a lot of the birth control trials in Puerto Rico. And that's all I'll say. I know. I wish it had been explored more, but that wouldn't have been necessary for the story that was trying to be told. But either way, I did love the detail of like low-key experimentation on women and what makes a woman good or fit to be a mother or to not be a mother, eugenics and all of that. So the undertones and like the sub-themes of the film are really good. I just think that Nida Manzoor is one to watch. She is an award-winning creator for We Are Lady Parts, and just this one just fully cements her as one to watch. Again, I'm being redundant, but I just fell in love with her directing, the art style. It's just her being inspired by Kill Bill and just all these other films she watched growing up. But then it also, like, it's coming at the time where Everything Everywhere at Once also won Best Picture. So it's just a beautiful, it's just beautiful proof of where cinema is going right now.
I love that. I think I'm gonna try to catch it tomorrow. And yes, it is playing here at Fine Arts Popular. And I should have mentioned Chevalier is also playing here in Puerto Rico at Fine Arts Miramar. And I'm not sure if Popular as well, but check out your local fine arts. And it is playing there. And I wish it was playing in more theaters outside of the metropolitan area because I think Chevalier it's a good movie. It's a good period drama that engages you. And I assume as well, like Polite Society and Chevalier would probably be a good double feature. Now that I think about it.
I also caught Ghosted on Apple TV Plus, which a lot of people are hating, but I I vibed.
You know, my mom told me yesterday, she's like, "Have you seen Ghosted?" And I'm like, "No. What did you think?" And she was like, "Tamalita."
Tamalita. I
Tamalita.
liked it.
Sometimes
I
you
love
just need your guilty pleasure.
I think it's a nice gateway for what we want to see from these two actors, which is Ana de Armas with more action roles. I want to see her with more guns.
Ballerina coming soon.
Exactly. So it's nice promo for that. And then Chris Evans, I just want to see him in more comedy roles because he has really good comedic timing. I think that if they give him more roles and they nurture that talent within him, he'd be a very good like character actor. There's a trending TikTok from the movie like soundbite right now on TikTok where it's just him going like, "I'm a farmer," and it's like, yes, we love whiny Chris Evans just being like, "Why am I here? Why didn't you ask me what the torturer was torturing me about?" It's just him super complaining. Like, if I met him, like, his character in person in real life, like, if that were an actual person, which there are men that exist that are just like that, I would have punched him. Because dude is such a whiny little bitch. But for the sake of
he's like
this
a male
film,
Karen.
yes, but for the sake, because he's a very needy man that definitely needs to work on some things internally, but he keeps blaming his external environment for the way that he is, and it's like, dude, you need to do some soul searching. But for the sake of this film, I was entertained. It's kooky, it's off the walls, it doesn't really know what it wants to be. And I don't know. I appreciated it for what it was. I thought that despite all of that, I still had fun. I still laughed. And it's truly just proof of what happens when you throw a bunch of money into a project without generally thinking of the artistry. But Ana de Armas and Chris Evans.
Yeah, it just feels very much like, and I haven't seen it yet, but I'll probably catch it. It feels very much like a streamer trying to make something based off of marketing data.
Yeah, someone said that it sounds like if you fed a bunch of keywords to an AI and then it wrote this film. It's true.
Probably.
I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's the beauty of film. Sometimes we see a pile of flaming poo, but sometimes the pile of flaming poo is a little mesmerizing, and we can't look away. I think I'm gonna close this off. I'm gonna send us off here with the last movie I was able to see in theaters, which was last week, and it just came out this weekend. Evil Dead Rise.
Oof.
Evil Dead fans, you're gonna love it. It's very and I'm gonna turn it into a little Harry Styles moment here. It feels like an Evil Dead movie, you know? It really does.
Feels like a go to the theater Evil Dead movie.
Yeah. Not for me. I did give it 3 stars for what it was trying to do for the performances because Elisa Sutherland, if I'm not mistaken, who plays the mother, the Deadite in the film, phenomenal. She served. I think she was a phenomenal performance in the film, and I really wish she was in it more.
which I didn't expect for me to want, because you would think from the trailers and from the posters, like all the marketing for this movie, the movie was going to be really centered on her. But I feel like we kind of lost her halfway through, and it started focusing on like the kids. Like, all, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I don't know. I feel like we could have gotten more of her, and we didn't. And that's very interesting. Anyways, but it's still good. I think it was serving the blood gore fest that Renfield thought it was serving.
Mm.
So I will give them props for that. I think the special effects and especially the practical effects, is very much a practical movie. Phenomenal. Has a phenomenal, like, I'm seeing it all over my timeline. The intro serves cunt. The title serves cunt. And then it just fell flat for me. For me, it started off extremely strong, and then I got bored halfway through, which is not something I want to feel during a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be bored. And, I'm not going to name names, but there were some people that fell asleep halfway through.
Oh.
Once again, a horror movie. You don't want to fall asleep during that. So if you're not an Evil Dead fan, skip this one. You're not missing out on anything. But it is definitely ooey gooey yumminess for those hardcore Evil Dead fans.
I watched a lot of movies in April. So again, rapid fire. I watched Carmen and Peter Pan and Wendy. Peter Pan and Wendy. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it is a delightful watch. And if I had seen it for the first time when I was a kid, I would have been so in love with this film. It feels like magic. So definitely, if you are interested in it, watch it. But again,
streaming on Disney Plus now.
Yes. So I think it's one of the few live action films that doesn't feel soulless. It does have style and charisma, but there are definitely things that you didn't miss from the animated version. But also, this is a story that has been adapted so many times in so many different ways. So I think that's why we're a little bit kinder to it. And out of all the live action adaptations of this story, I thought it was one of the best.
I mean, it is David Lowery. Like, it's kind of almost impossible to have it
I
be
teared up a couple
absolutely
of times.
zero
Because you could
stars.
tell that I was like, David Lowery is lowering. David Lowery is David lowering.
Yes, sir.
When they go, especially, like, you'll know if you've seen it, it's when they go into Neverland. That whole transition was just gorgeous. And the other film that I watched was Carmen with Melissa Barrera and Paul Mescal. I don't care what people say. I actually do like Melissa Barrera as an actress, and anything that she's in, I will watch. And Paul Mescal was in this, and he was very good.
That was
I
the one that we missed at TIFF because it was our last night there. It was a very late night screening.
That I've been trying to catch it, and I finally was able to catch it. It's playing at it's playing at the Angelica Film Center here in New York, and it was lovely. I liked it. I don't know what else to say other than it just feels like a poem. It feels like a poem.
I love
you're watching a literal poem. There's a lot of magical realism in it. It doesn't have that much dialogue. There is dialogue from time to time, but it's very musical-like. It's not a musical, but it does have musical aspects. There's a lot of dancing. The dancing is very nice. It's like you're watching interpretive dancing throughout the film, and the dancing and the singing tells the story.
Oh, that's a serve.
It's always moving. It's just beautiful, and like things aren't literal. Nothing is literal in this film.
So it's very much like, and I really, forgive me if I'm wrong, but it feels more like a Latin American style of storytelling that we know and love. Fabulous. Who's the director?
Benjamin Millepied? Sorry, they're French.
Interesting. Okay.
Wait, what? Espera, I just tapped on his name. He's an actor in Barbie and the Swan Lake, and he's also an actor in Black Swan. Sir, he is a French dancer and choreographer. He's a man of many talents and many lives.
I know who you're talking about!
What do you mean you were in Barbie and the Swan Lake?
What do you mean he was the one that, like, came on to Natalie Portman in freaking Black Swan?
Probably.
Yeah, because he was
he directed Carmen.
Wow. Look at you. You were a nasty, nasty son of a gun in Black Swan.
What a way to close off. Anyway,
What
Paul
a-
Mescal was delightful.
Paul Mescal tends to be delightful, so I'm happy for him. And I'm happy for Melissa Barrera. I feel like she deserves more roles like that. And I think that's our roundup. That's
Yeah.
what we saw. I did rewatch a few things.
I
Which is-
rewatched too many things.
Yeah, I rewatched Babylon, Serve. I rewatched
I wanted
Everything
to-
Everywhere.
I wanted to
Serve.
rewatch it. I literally rewatched La La Land today.
Rewatch Babylon. Revisit it. It.
I've only seen it
I-
once, so
I liked it even better on the second time.
I
I'm
feel
not
like
gonna
I'll like
lie,
it
fam.
more. Just thinking about it, I was like, yeah, this movie's good.
It scratches an itch that I can't explain. But Babylon, good movie, and I showed it to our friend, our mutual bestie, and they loved it too. They turned it up. It's definitely chaotic, but I think it's right for us.
It has purpose. It has intention. It has meaning. It has themes. It has dialogue. It has actors.
It has drugs.
No, pero en serio, una película que se nota que he just wanted to do something, he wanted to say something, and
Yes.
he did. Pues, if people liked it, they liked it. If people didn't, then whatever.
Exactly. And I definitely I respect the hell out of Babylon. I also rewatched Marcel the Shell. Still cried, still good. Fantastic movie. Showed it to my grandmother, which I think it was you, Josie, who said I was a little sadistic for doing that. But she enjoyed it. She loved the hell out of it. And then
Okay.
right after, because we were on Showtime, because Marcel the Shell is streaming on Showtime, Lamb is also on Showtime. And it popped up on the homepage, and I was like, ooh, y'all want to see something freaky?
Love it.
And they said yes. They being my mother and my grandmother. So I rewatched Lamb after not having seen it since the Cannes premiere 2 years ago, and wow, does it hold up. I
can see that.
I really like that one. I think it's that lovely, quiet, atmospheric kind of folktale horror that I just really enjoy. So that was fun. That's been Filmeboxd. Film Talk.
Yes.
Filmeboxd. What we've been watching, what we've been liking and not liking.
Now I'm gonna leave you all so I can have dinner.
Excellent. Where can they find you, Miss Josie?
You can find me at the Josie Marie on Twitter and Letterboxd.
You can find me at Captain Melendez on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Instagram as well. I'm trying to give Instagram a little more love. You can find us at Film Talk on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. And Spotify. Be sure to follow us on Spotify and subscribe to us on YouTube. We will be uploading these episodes to both platforms still, even if they're not video. You're going to be able to listen to us on both. So whatever, tickles your pickle, it's going to be there. I hate and love that saying. Anyways, let us know in the comments what you think. If you want to listen to us do a lifestyle segment or just kind of, be more casual. What are you feeling? What have you guys been up to watching on your Letterboxd, and what are you anticipating? We're anticipating Guardians 3. That's for damn sure. So let's
We're
see.
definitely reviewing it because
That
Guardians
deserves its own video.
Guardians is some of my favorite work from Marvel, and it's ending, so expect that from us soon.
100%. Anyways, we love you all. And I hope you have a lovely time after listening to this. Bye.
Or during.
Or during. Bye.
Bye.